Welcome back to the channel, and we are doing our final and fifth video on the series that was out today of summarizing our couples from Married at First Sight. So welcome back, Married at First Sight fans, and if you are new to the channel, feel free to hit the subscribe button so you can get quality content on all of our reality dating shows, Married at First Sight, Love Island, Bachelor, Bachelorette, Ready to Love, and any other new ones that's coming soon. So if you like the video, hit the like button. And also if you want to drop a comment in the comment section as well, as I really, really enjoy engaging with you guys in conversation. So without further ado, let's get into this video talking about this season of Married First Sight, season 11, with Karen and Miles. So here's where I have an issue with the show in the beginning, because there is no way Karen should have gotten that message on her phone before the show, before she walked down the aisle and any of that to see Miles' social media. This is Married at First Sight, not married, but let me give you a heads up first. I have yet to see where a reality show such as this, like The Love is Blind or even The Bachelor and Bachelorette, and shows where you don't necessarily meet the particular person, you get a heads up on them. I don't get that. But they did. And of course, this is what set Karen on a path of dysfunction with this whole relationship. Because when she got that text message, and her whole mentality of, I need this alpha male, this strong male, this masculine male, which we'll talk more about that later in this video, it just set her off right from jump. She already got a preconceived notion who her new husband is going to be based on that text message. So Married at First Sight, I don't even understand how she was able to get that. And of course, she's freaking out. I think I know him. I'm looking at his social media. He seems overly emotional. And it's been downhill ever since. Now, with her knowing this information, it could have went two ways. Either she could have took the opportunity to truly get to know the real Miles, or take the other way where she just fed right into all of those preconceived notions that she had. And of course, we all know what happened. So, if I was Miles at this point looking at her, this girl breaking down, and he's probably like, what the heck? And I don't think it was fair for him on his part that she got to know at least an idea of who he was, and he had no clue at all what she was about. That's not fair. So I don't get that. I'm not going to spend too much more time on that, but that has been one of my biggest concerns about this couple, is how the show allowed that to happen. Just to throw this out there, and I'm going to move it along, the moment when another character on Bachelorette, which is happening right now, reached out and got information to the actual Bachelorette, that was against the rules. So I don't know how they let this slide on this side of the turf. All right, so she did talk to him in the beginning about the fact that, hey, I kind of got an idea who you were, and he was kind of like, well, how you get to know me? And I don't think that's fair. And I was hoping at this point Miles was going to be that guy who is respectful, but, kind of raise an eyebrow and say, hey, I don't think that's fair. But he's extremely respectful. And the other issue is that she got an issue with his age. She's 30, he's 26. So she thinks she's light years in maturity and age over him. Yeah, okay. Karen. And then of course Miles's mom, if his mom is actually watching this season, it's got to be driving her crazy what's going on with her son and Karen. So we get further into it with them, and one of the things this season that Miles was able to be vulnerable about was his clinical depression. And he discussed that with her early, which you're supposed to. This is your wife. I mean, it's different when you're on a date and you meeting this person for the first time, and but they're married. So you got to put some stuff on the table. And he did. And she was like, this dude is way too open. I mean, he's telling me not only I know him to be emotional, but he got clinical depression too. I don't know how to deal with that. And listen, I mean, the thing is that that's something that you should be able to say, okay, let me talk more about it. Where do you stand with it? How are you dealing with it? What can I do to help you with it? Now, granted, this was very early in the experiment, but at the same time, it freaked her out more than anything. And I know for some people, they don't know what to do with that. But at the same time, you signed up for this. This is now your husband. You're the mature one, supposedly. What's your next move, Karen? Well, her next move was pretty much for the rest of the season to see him as a child, see him as not man enough, emasculate him in the process, alienate affection from him, and also not really sure of what I really truly don't think Karen know what she wants. Now, we'll talk about further in this video about some of the things that she said. Granted, like I said, the biggest thing this season, and she's been using this word every episode, the natural progression of things, and we just need to let it happen naturally. Okay, I don't know if you guys ever watched the show Love Island, but the winner of that show, he actually made a quote, and of course he made a t-shirt, and it's called "Pursuing is a Verb." And as you guys know, verb mean action. I mean, the moment that he decides you need him to be assertive, the moment that he decided to do that, you felt unsafe. So what do you want? You want him to take action, and you want him to step up and make decisions and be the leader. And then the moment he even joke about something like, I'm going to put sex on the calendar, you decide to freak out. I felt unsafe, and you took off running back to your apartment, and you left the house. Really? I mean, what you should have did is ask a couple more questions. Are you serious right now? Are you joking? You playing? What's up with that? And I can guarantee you, Miles would have said, I'm playing with you. I'm not going to actually sleep with you on whatever that date was. I'm not going to force you to do it. I mean, seriously. Now, we also have to take in consideration that she did come out of a relationship with a man who had a child on her. And that is extremely unfortunate. And I think she said she was with that guy for about 4 or 5 years. So, obviously, it was a toxic situation. This man that she obviously probably had feelings for and was in love with. Who knows what the depth of her affection was with this guy. But he went out and had a child on her. So that got to be devastating. And then the other thing that we normally haven't mentioned in conversation in the groups and things, that her father didn't even show up to the wedding. So the male identifiers in her life has just not, it's been coming up short. Now, I mean, Pops have his own reasons for whatever he didn't want to show up. But there's got to be something in her life. I know that I think they're religious, because one of her biggest things about sex and kissing on TV and stuff like that, is what her family going to think, and, her faith. Okay, but Karen, you signed up for this. I mean, did you just say, I'm going to show up, they ain't going to pick me, ha ha ha, woo woo woo. Well, guess what? They did. And they put a good guy with you. And what did you decide to do? Rake him over the coals. You talk about him being feminine, and he expresses himself too much, and he got way too much emotions, and I don't know, you don't know how to deal with that. What type of people have you been dealing with? Misogynists, or people who are emotionally unavailable, people who have been rude and cold, aloof, and that's become normalcy to you, then that's something that you got to deal with. You don't make him change so you can feel comfortable around him. Like you told him in episode 15, oh, I told him he need to dial it back a little bit on, being overly affectionate. That's who he is. Why would you want to take that from him? And even if, just say he did dial it back, does that mean you're going to step up? Probably not, because you're not interested. And it's just so unfortunate that, Married at First Sight had to shoot you that text message, or they didn't send it, allow it to get to you, because it sets you on a path of just dysfunction when it comes to you and Miles. This guy has taken the lead in fixing your car, making sure you good. I mean, the dude was in the quarantine cleaning the house, running bath water, cooking food. He brought a chef to the house to fix you dinner. What he got to do? And then you say with everything, because remember, you guys, they were in this experiment an extra 2 months, so for a total of 4 months, which pushed them into June when we had everything with social injustice, unrest in the country. And she says at the retreat, oh, I'm kind of shocked and I'm amazed at his response to that. Why would you be? She made the comment when they was at the park about the 2 truths and a lie, when she said she believed that the truth is he didn't learn how to swing till he was 12, because if that was for real, that explains a lot about him. Really, Karen, how long you going to demean this guy? It's one thing if you're not interested, but don't destroy him in the process because you're not interested. That's not fair. And if the shoes were reversed, they would call him a sociopath, or they would call him a toxic man. Well, guess what? You putting toxicity out there too. And then this whole thing with, I need a man to put me in my place. What is it with that term? Because I was watching and I did a review on Ready to Love, so go check out that video. There's a young woman on there saying, I need a man to put me in my place. You put yourself in your place. When you know that you acting up, he's not your father, that's your husband. I need him to give me that look. That's the type of stuff I used to do when my kids act up, and I'll look at them and be like, you better go sit down somewhere. He's not your child, even though you keep calling him that, and kiddo, child, you need to grow up. I mean, seriously, passive aggressiveness, and then this guy, the whole thing what we heard in season 15 about how when it was time to eat and all them clothes in that chair and there was a full seat next to Miles and you chose to ball yourself up on the edge of that arm of that chair and sit over there and eat because you didn't want to be close to him. Okay, I get it if you don't like him and he's not your type, fine, but don't break him down in the process. And then the whole sis thing. Then in the middle of quarantine, he said if I had to make a decision today, I would probably say no. Then you got the nerve to get mad and tell Dr. Pepper, oh, he called me sis. And if he had to make a decision today, he said I wouldn't be his wife or something like that. You got the nerve to get mad. What did you expect? And you giving him sus vibes. You're not treating him like a husband. This dude has done everything. You don't want to sit close to him, but the moment you want your feet rubbed, you throwing them feet up there on his lap. Can you rub my feet? Like I said, this man is having a chef cook you food. He got your car fixed. He run your bath water because you working hard during this quarantine at the hospital. He making sure your lunch is ready to go for the next day when you take it to work. What more do you need? Do you want a man who is emotionally unavailable, act like he's just a warm body in the house, don't care about your thoughts and feelings? Because Miles definitely care about how you feel, like your girlfriend said. Seriously, what do you need, Karen? And thank God I'm hopeful with Miles, he mentioned he had clinical depression, that this doesn't send him spiraling backwards. So obviously this is something that he had to deal with, and he got Woody there as a support system. You know, I thought they had a little bit of a breakthrough when they did the yoga thing, but I mean, this dude has not had sex in months, and he said he had to burn off all his energy, you know, and lost 20 pounds in the process. And he's looking really good right now, too. So, Karen, you got to get it together. My prediction on decision day is that he's probably, I don't know, it's up in the air. They might say yes to try to see where it can go. I don't know. We'll see. However, I didn't say much on Miles. Miles, I just wish you had stuck up for yourself early on, because people do what you allow them to do, and kind of say, look, you know what? I understand you might not see me as your type of guy or anything, and even my age might be an issue, but I'm going to need you to respect me. Don't talk to me like that. And if she couldn't deal with it, let her walk. So, all right, this is our 5th video. Thank you for listening to the video. Like, comment, and subscribe, and we will see you next week for Decision Day.